Hi, my name is Sarah, and today we're going to empower ourselves. I have discovered a life hack that is super empowering. Now, what it does is, if you've been watching me for long, you know that I believe that when we start letting go of beliefs, which are just thoughts we keep thinking, that are limiting beliefs, that's how we are able to grab onto our own empowerment, because that's where power comes from, is within. We're not getting it from anyone else, okay? And so when we can let go of those limiting beliefs, then we can gain our own, embody our own empowerment. So the idea is that the life hack that I've learned is that your thoughts that you keep thinking have a sound to them, a sound quality. And what I started to do was think, what type of person would say those things to me? Okay. And so like a thought that I had kept thinking for quite some time, which became a belief, was that I was kidding myself. You're kidding yourself. Okay. So then I have to turn it around and say, you're kidding yourself, Sarah. You just go back to work. Okay. Quit putting effort into this shit. You're not very good at it. You don't really like it that much. Leave that for the men. Leave it for guys that are already rich and that they're very confident, and leave it for the pretty girls, you know, because you're not really meant for that. If you're meant for that, you would have succeeded at it a long time ago, you know? And so, it's so weird to let y'all in on my inner dialogue. But anyways, this voice, when I put a body to it and a personality behind it, is basically the patriarchy. Okay, it's a man. It's an old white man that has zero respect for women. He's not woke at all. And he thinks that I am only, you know, meant for, it's almost like racism, where, you know, those people that thought that black people were just like a lesser race or something. It's like, he's like that guy, but he thinks that because I'm a woman, I'm a lesser race. Like, oh, I don't know, the way that I thought about God growing up, how I was taught about God growing up, maybe like how everybody in the church treated me, like because I had boobs, big ones, I was somehow not worthy of being a missionary or a preacher or anybody of value. That I was taught that you're literally not allowed to talk in church because, you know, you can go home and talk to your husband. So that voice was very specific and very familiar to me. And when you think about this negative thought that's rolling around in your head, and you say, okay, I'm going to put a body on it, and then I'm going to have like a literally, I see this man. He's sitting down because he's got a bad back, you know, in his legs, and he's just kind of like, he looks actually just like my professor, the dean of men at the college I went to. Anyways, when I think of a thought that's really negative and I put it in that man's mouth, I don't care about that thought anymore. You know what I mean? So my hack is to think about the thought that you're thinking, and you don't always have to put it on that same avatar, if you will, because I have plenty of thoughts that don't come from that man or that man's avatar. And you say to yourself, okay, well, let me think of another thought. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough as is. You know where that thought comes from? It comes from the younger version of myself. I can see the little Sarah, and we're talking, she was probably 21. I can see the 21-year-old Sarah looking so, you want to talk skinny? Looking so skinny, looking so perfect skin, looking so funny. She was so funny. Naive, but funny. And that girl told herself constantly that she wasn't good enough. I look back and I'm like, that girl was so good. I couldn't even, are you kidding me? So when I see little Sarah telling me you're not good enough as is, remember, Sarah, you're not good enough as is. You gotta grow up a little bit. You gotta have a little bit more experience. You gotta learn a little bit more. I'm a couple years beyond 21 now. You know what the crazy thing is? 21-year-old Sarah was good enough. So was 22-year-old Sarah. So was 23-year-old Sarah. So was 24-year-old Sarah. I didn't need to become good enough. Because one of the biggest things that I learned in my life, and guess what? I feel like it's a daily lesson, is that I already am. You, my love, already are. You already are. You're good enough. You're good enough for whatever you want. Listen, if you suck at singing, like really suck at singing, and you want to be on American Idol, you want to win American Idol, I mean, like, I don't know why you want to win American Idol if you suck at singing, but if you feel like you really want to, like, you are good enough. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, maybe the whole end goal isn't even the goal anyways. Maybe it's the journey. I just really feel so strongly that when you put a body and a personality to these voices, they're never very sweet, little cutesy people. And so what we've done over time is we've thought that the thoughts that go through our head that become beliefs that limit us and take away our power, when we grab onto them and we say, oh, I'm too fat to be pretty and attractive and loved, I'm going to hold on to that thought. When we hold on to it and it becomes our belief, and then we believe I'm too fat to be loved, that we think is us. I am my thoughts. I am my beliefs. But that's not who you are. And you don't want to hate yourself. You don't want to hate yourself. It's part of how we're wired. We don't want to hate ourselves. And guess what this thought? It's not me. And so when I attach it to basically a bully, who would tell you that about yourself? Who would make you feel that way? Well, the media. The media is not even real. It's just a pendulum. It's just thoughts. There's so many thoughts put out by the media. We've only grabbed onto the ones that we continually think again and again and again until it becomes a belief. So I would suggest writing down some of those beliefs, some negative beliefs. Like when you're in a real fear state, write them down. And then you can go back and you can say, what kind of person would tell me, you know, I wrote a bunch down. What kind of person would tell me, you know, I don't hold all the power and I don't know where to get it? Probably somebody that wants to sell me their power. already had somebody come into mind. What kind of person would end up with a narcissist? Somebody that would believe the lies. And why would you believe the lies? Well, because you've been thinking them for so long. But we're going to free ourselves of that. We're going to become aware of the lies. We're going to put them on avatars. And we're not going to care what our bullies say. And we are not our own bullies. We're going to let that go because guess what? We love ourselves. I love me and I love little Sarah. You would have loved her too.